Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/VulcansMakeADifference to make your gift. A new season of Vulcan football is set to begin September 9th versus Kutztown, September 16th versus Shepherd, September 23rd at Edinboro, September 30th versus Clarion, October 7th at IUP, Homecoming October 14th versus Seton Hill, October 21st at Slippery Rock, October 28th versus Mercyhurst, November 4th at Gannon, November 11th at East Stroudsburg. All games available on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer.
Vulcan Volleyball is back, and you can have the best seat in the house. The Convocation Center will be rocking with 11 home games featuring some of the best teams in the region and the PSAC. All home games will be streamed live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans on all social media platforms for up-to-date schedules and information. Vulcan Volleyball and you, a winning combination.
Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/VulcansMakeADifference to make your gift. Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have two great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sox Harrison Stadium here in Edinboro, Pennsylvania for today's PSAC West matchup between the California Vulcans and the Edinboro Fighting Scots. My name is Jonathan Sape. Alongside me here today is my good friend, Jonathan Sakaguchi. Johnny, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man, and great weather outside for football. Great to be back doing football again, and my first one of the season on the headset. Looking forward to it. It is as an old rivalry with the Fighting Scots. A little bit of a family rivalry between me and my sister, who's the better school. Oh, but you know who I'm going to be rooting for. It's our guys in the white jerseys today. Hey, for California, I'm looking forward to it. And it should be an entertaining matchup.
As well as a fight in between Penn West schools as well. First one of the season as well. Before we get started, I want to make a quick little shout out to Eric Willis III, after his performance last week, netted him the PSAC West Offensive Athlete of the Week. And, I mean, what a week he had.
I mean, what can you say? A record for total yardage in a game, 8 yards shy of breaking the school's all-time receiving yard record. So he definitely had a day. I mean, and you expected something big when he had 2 90-plus yard touchdowns to start the game that day. So I mean, what can you say? But you also got to remember, Edinboro also has a PSAC Player of the Week, and Reed Martin, the kicker, had the second longest field goal last week in Edinboro in the entire conference. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he fares, because he's gonna be doing double duty. Because not only is he the kicker, but he's also gonna be out there for defense as one of the cornerbacks. So we'll have to keep an eye on him.
And while you're doing that, I just killed a wasp that got into our booth.
Yeah,
so
hey, things happen.
Keeping us safe. But Eric Willis last week, 6 catches, 274 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And like you said, 2 90-plus, 191-yard touchdown, 195-yard touchdown. And like I said in the podcast last week, you rarely see 2 plays of 90-plus yards for one team in an entire season, let alone 2 within about 15 minutes of each other.
And here's the other thing. It was against one of the top 14 or top 15 schools in the country, against Shepherd, a team that's, was you and I called the game last year, took the Vulcans to their limit. And so the fact that the Vulcans were able to hang with them as long as they did, it stands a testimony right of its own.
Yeah, it was the Vulcans were down there to the very end, and in similar fashion to last year, they had their chances. They had their chances to win. They probably should have won the game, but just fell short of that final hurdle. As we're going to get ready for the opening kickoff, the Vulcans are going to go from right to left to start the game. The Fighting Scots going from left to right. Like you said, the Vulcans in the white and black, and the Fighting Scots in the red and with the white helmet. It's going to be Harry Ratcliffe, number 93, kicking it off here for California.
And he's got a boot, set the school record for Laurel Highlands' longest field goal last year. This is the first time we get to see him in action.
This kick underway. Going to bounce out of bounds, so maybe a bit of a caster jinx, so to speak, but that kick fell out of bounds at about the 4-yard line, so that's going to move. One of the biggest penalties, I think, in the entirety of football, which is very surprising, but that's going to give the Fighting Scots excellent field position to start the game.
Yeah, and one of those things, it's a rare thing to see happen, to kick out of bounds. It's especially to start things off, and Coach Dunn can't be happy with that. Mental mistakes is what killed the offense or the Vulcans last week. You don't want to see him doing it again and this week. You're starting off on a bad foot.
Yeah, and if the Vulcans don't luck out, and maybe the way that the Browns did against the Steelers whenever Gunnar Olszewski could have let it go out of bounds.
Yeah,
decided to just pull that one in, toe tap, and make sure he stayed in bounds.
Yeah, that could have been it, but we'll have to keep an eye out now.
1st and 10 for the Fighting Scots. Handoff on the play. Great hole. A nice strong run to start the game by number 19, Brian Trobel, who had a fantastic game last week in their win over Bloomsburg. 29 rushes for 104 yards and a touchdown to help get the Fighting Scots the win.
Yeah, and he definitely had a big game last week, and you're going to have to keep an eye out because he can also have the quarterback run in Isaac Bernard. Dual threat back there to start the game.
Yeah, and the Fighting Scots, one of the interesting teams where both quarterbacks on the roster get a significant amount of playing time. It is Bernard in the gun. Going to take the snap, firing to his right, and that pass just off of Thaddeus Stanfield's hands, one of the better receivers on this Fighting Scots team. That pass incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 3 now for the Fighting Scots.
Stanfield going to be one of our players to watch here against the Vulcans.
Yeah, so far in the season, 17 catches for 146 yards. No touchdowns yet on the season, but one of the favorite receivers of Bernard and Carlisle, the two quarterbacks for Edinboro. 3rd down and 3, ball on the Edinboro 42-yard line, 14-22 left to go here in the first quarter.
Vulcans looks like they're going to bring the house on this one.
You wouldn't be surprised. The Vulcans love to do so. Bernard gets the snap. Bernard under a ton of pressure. Bernard going to get brought down. Ball came out as well. The Vulcans signal that they have it, waiting for the official signal from the referee. But like you said, you called it. I mean, the Vulcans brought the house. It looks like Edinboro are going to be able to topple back on top of it. But the Vulcans get a big stop on 4th down. Or 3rd down, excuse me.
Yeah, it's going to remain Edinboro ball. I don't know how they got onto that one. And it looked like Bernard lost it, and then the Vulcans just jumped. Like Wild Coyote, he's on a carcass jumping for that one, and somehow the Fighting Scots retained. That could have been a big momentum shifter, but regardless, 4th down, and now you got to worry about Willis back there on the return.
Yeah, like you said, the Vulcans, I couldn't even see who got the initial hit on to Bernard because so many of them got back there. High snap, but Martin able to pull that one in. Deep boot from Martin Willis. Going to signal the fair catch and going to make the catch at about his 17-yard line.
Yeah, that was close. As we talked about penalties in the Steeler game, we almost had a fair catch interference there by the kicking team, but luckily they managed to get away in time. So the Vulcans now going to take 1st and 10. And from their 17, as you said, looking at the starting lineup, we got one of our players to watch, David Black, the quarterback, taking over for the Vulcans, has had a pretty good season so far. 410 yards in the air last week with, I believe, 3 touchdowns. So, good to see him out there. And the carousel running backs, looks like it's going to be Devontae Martin starting in the backfield today.
It's going to be Black in the gun, 2 receivers to the near side. Quick handoff. And a nice run up the middle. Spin move. It's McCann on the carry. Going to fall just short of the sticks at around the 25-yard line. Before we get away from it, I wanted to mention that punt from Reed on the season, he has a 73-yard punt, his longest, because that was a big boot, but the Vulcans going right back at it again as Black takes the keeper and going to fall forward and get enough for the 1st down pass right around the 30-yard line.
That's what I talked about Bernard and his running backs as a dual threat. You have to watch out for Black and McCann at here. Both of them can run, and they do have 2 other running backs on the sideline that can also run, and Bobby Boyd and Devontae Martin.
1st and 10 from the 25. 2 receivers to the near side for Black. Gets a snap. Firing deep down the right side. That pass incomplete, trying to find Eric Willis on that far sideline. Great coverage that time, looked like, from Edinboro, and that's going to be one of their key points, is to keep Eric Willis quiet. Not an easy task.
No, especially after he put up as many yards as he did against Shepherd, which, by the way, Edinboro did their own hanging out with Edinboro 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Shepherd so far, they have not started the season off. They started off undefeated, but none of the wins very convincing. Only time will tell. 2nd and 10. Handoff this time to McCann again, who's trying to find a lane on the outside. Able to fall power forward. Some whistles blown after the fact. Looks like a Fighting Scot player injured on the ground. McCann going to pick up about 6 on the play. And it looks like for Edinboro, it's going to be a big loss. Number 63, I believe, for the Fighting Scots. Anthony Gentile going to be down on the field.
He's a big key piece of those guys up in the box for the Fighting Scots. So, that with him being out, that's going to be a big hole to fill.
And we haven't touched on this quite yet, but coming into this game today, I think just going by the history of things between these two teams over the past decade plus, it's been all California. The Vulcans have not lost to Edinboro since October 9th of 2004. I was 2 years old. The last time
I was in 4th grade, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, I was 2 years old the last time Edinboro was able to get a win against California. It was here. It was Edinboro were home in that game. The last time these two teams played, almost a year ago today, they faced off on September 24th of last year. The Vulcans with a 49-7 win. A couple of stats from that game. Noah Mitchell, 14 for 23, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Devontae Williams, 16 rushes for 162 yards and a touchdown. Eric McCann with 15 rushes for 117 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Noah Dilla had a 72-yard interception return for a touchdown in that game as well.
Yeah, I remember that was a wild one. When I was actually looking back at some of those highlights from last year, and definitely was a wild one back at Admonton Stadium. And good to see the Edinboro player able to get off on the field on his own power, or had a little bit of assistance, but still. Well, we're going to go check him out, but he might be out for a while.
Yeah, hopefully everything's all right with him, and he's able to get back into the game. 3rd and 5 from the 33. Man in motion for California. Black gets the snap. Looking towards left-hand side, now looking towards the right. Check down, that throw off the mark, trying to find the running back out of the backfield. It's going to bring up a 4th down. So the Vulcans, after getting a stop, could not get a second first down. Going to have to punt the ball.
Yeah, I was looking for Isaiah Cameron on that play, and just a little too far or out in front of him. But early game jitters, hopefully they can get it sorted out. And it looks like Edinboro is going to bring the house, looking to stop this kick.
Yeah, we know Edinboro, their special teams, they love to cook something up. Something where last year they had an onside kick at the beginning of the game. So would not be surprised if they pull out some funky stuff here against California. Have to get the edge any way possible. Rosensteel back to punt. His punt, high, spiraling kick. Fair catch going to be signaled and made at about the 27, 28-yard line. And a couple of players pushing each other after the play. A little skirmish in the middle of the field, but a good kick from Rosensteel. And the Fighting Scots going to get the ball back inside of their own half.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. While we got a second here, take a look here now at the schedule for today's PSAC games. In Westchester at Millersville, Kutztown at Shepherd, Edinboro, East Stroudsburg at Lockhaven. Clarion goes to Gannon. Bloomsburg at Shippensburg, IUP's at Mercyhurst, and Slippery Rock at Seton Hill.
That Kutztown Shepherd one's going to be a big game. Definitely one I want to keep an eye on. Some motion before the play. Looks like this one might be going against California.
I was going to say a lot of finger pointing out there.
Yeah, both teams always going to try to point out that the other team moved first, but
yeah, I think this one might be going against the Vulcans.
That one going to go against number 9, Ibrahim Sonogo.
Number 99, there was going to be Gage Hill that got off guard.
Yeah, there was just a lot of movement on that far side. All I heard was 19. I wasn't sure if there was a second one, but
yeah, it was on that far side line with Gage Hill.
1st down and 5 now from the Fighting Scott 32-yard line. Bernard takes the snap, hands off the dribble, able to get a nice hole. Great blocking by this Fighting Scott offensive line. Going to fall forward to about the 40-yard line for a 1st down.
Seems to, that's one problem the Vulcans have had, that outside run, and they've been struggling to defend it all season, and they've got to come up with some sort of answer to it.
The Vulcans giving up 106.5 yards on the ground per game, which, I mean, in all things good, it was not great. Last year, one of the best defenders against the rush in the entire conference and in the entire country. 1st down and 10. Hand off to Tribble again, and Tribble has a ton of room. Going to make his way into Vulcan territory, getting wrapped up by a pack of Vulcans, and they get brought down at the 42-yard line. 20-yard gain almost from Tribble, and a couple of hands thrown after the play.
And that's going to be one of the guys in there is Israel Xavier, or back off the injured list for the first time in 2 weeks. He's pushing and shoving with a couple of the Fighting Scots.
And he has to be careful. Like you talked about, penalties played a big factor in last week's game against Shepherd. The Vulcans, 82.5 penalty yards per game given against them. That's 13th best in the conference, which is not what you want if you're a team, because penalties are drive killers. 1st down and 10. Play action pass. Bernard stepping up, and Bernard getting thrown down, and Xavier rights his wrongs, going to get back there, going to pick up his 1st sack of the season. Bernard going to be downed at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and Edinboro, we talked about watching penalties. Edinboro's offensive line might want to watch with them hands, getting a little close to a holding call.
Yeah, and I thought Izzy may have gotten away with a little bit. Looked like he could have potentially grabbed a little bit of that collar, but Nothing called. The Vulcans will take that sack every day of the week. 2nd and 18 now. The ball going to be placed right on the 50-yard line, so the Vulcans able to push the Fighting Scots back into neutral territory. 2 receivers on the far side, 2 on the near. Tribble in the gun next to Bernard. Bernard getting a snap, looking, stepping up into the pocket, under pressure, rolling now to his left. Bernard has a ton of room to run. Bernard going to make his way past the 40 to the 39. Going to get past the original line of scrimmage and pick up a few, so it's going to be a 3rd down and about 7 for Edinboro.
Yeah, he's going to be forced out by John Hutchison in there on the far side, chasing him down on just to push him out of bounds.
I mean, couldn't really ask for a better play. Pick up that yardage that you lost on the sack, picked up a few extra, and got yourself in a decent position here to try to convert this 3rd down. 3rd and 7 from the Vulcan 39. 9:38 left to go here in the first quarter of play. 0-0 the score. Edinboro looking to strike first. Man in motion to the near side. Bernard getting the snap. Vulcan setting a ton of pressure. Bernard, quick pass over the field, caught by Stanfield. Stanfield, stutter step, able to get past the defender before finally getting pushed out of bounds at the 26, 27-yard line. A flag thrown in the backfield all the way at the midfield line. So
this one's coming back. This has to be a holding call.
Roughing the passer going to be called against the Vulcans. So not only do the Fighting Scots pick up a 1st down, and tack on another 15 on top of that. And like we mentioned, that's something that the Vulcans struggled with last week. That's what kept Shepherd in the game against them. That's what ultimately got Shepherd the win. Was both. I mean, I guess both teams had their fair share of penalties, but penalties like that where the ball is now going to be moved inside of the red zone at the 19-yard line. Big chunk play for Edinboro, who now find themselves within striking distance from getting themselves on the board.
Vulcans are going to have to step up big time at defense now.
And we've seen them do it a lot, like that bend but don't break type of mindset where they've gone down here, but they've gotten some stops. 1st and 10, Bernard fakes the pitch and going to keep it himself. The Vulcans on the scene. Bernard going to pick up about 3 on the play, and that's something we're going to see a lot. Like you said, the dual threat ability of these Fighting Scots quarterbacks going to be very difficult for the Vulcans to handle, and that time did a pretty decent job. There's now another stupid B in the press.
Where do they keep coming from?
I don't know. I feel like it was if it was anything like this morning, it was way too cold for there to be any Bs around here. But 2nd down and 7 now from the Vulcan 11. 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Tribble in the backfield. Bernard gets the snap, looking, firing. His man just off his hands, a little bit too high for his intended target, Mike Watkins, on this near side end zone. And the throw was right there. Watkins was open, but that throw just unable to make the catch. Big 3rd down now here for California.
And coach is going to be wanting to bring the blitz on that, and so keep an eye on that front and 7.
Decent-sized crowd here from both sides, showing out their support. And like I said, from the Vulcan campus, about 2.5 hour drive. So not the worst drive to make this morning, even though it was way too early to be out. But
I will agree to that. But they couldn't argue with Tim Hortons for breakfast.
Very true. As Bernard under a ton of pressure, rolling to his right and having to throw that one away out of bounds. The Vulcans get a big stop on 3rd down. The Fighting Scots going to send out the kicking unit. But like we talked about, the Vulcans found themselves deep inside of their own half and able to fend off the Fighting Scots from scoring a touchdown.
And as we saw, Micah Thomas looking for that interception, but about a half step too far out of bounds on that.
Reed out to kick here for Edinboro. Snap kick is up, and the kick from Reed is good. First points of the game, 8:29 left to go here in the first quarter. Edinboro lead 3-0. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CUTV. CUTV Sports 1, the PSEC Network, 91.9 FM, WCAL.
Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/Vulcans Make a Difference to make your gift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sox Harrison Stadium. 8:29 left to go in the first quarter of play. Edinboro strike first, 3-0 after the Vulcans were able to hold them only to a field goal. And we've seen this offense for California get off to some slow starts already, especially in that game against Kutztown, where it took them almost 3 quarters of the game to finally get rolling. So maybe you want to pick up on that here today and try to get it going a little bit earlier.
Yeah, hopefully they can come up with something a little bit quicker in this one, as kicks taken from the 1.
Kick taken from the 1 yard line. And great coverage on the special teams from the Fighting Scots. It was Noah Hamlin on the return for California, and he's going to get marked down.
Looks like they're going to mark him down around the 18.
Yeah, so the Vulcans find themselves deep inside their own territory again, all the way back at the 16-yard line to start this drive. And the Vulcans, no strangers of marching the distance of the field, but
I mean, look what happened last week. One play, 95 yards to the house, so
if it happens again, I don't think my body's ready for it. But with the coverage that the Fighting Scots are showing on here today, I wouldn't be surprised. 1st and 10. Black in the gun. 3 receivers on the near side. Handoff this time to McCann. McCann looking for some space, not finding much of any. Picks up 2, maybe 3 on the play, but nothing more.
Yeah, that defense was ready for it this time. If you're gonna open up the run, you also got to get some play action plays in there. So waiting to see how all the Vulcans play that.
Yeah, Edinboro on the season giving up 182 yards per game on the ground. So definitely one of the weak points of this Fighting Scots defense. The Vulcans trying to exploit that early, try to get the running game going, try to set up the play action pass, but so far Fighting Scots doing a great job at keeping the Vulcans in check. 2nd and 7. Handoff again to McCann. McCann reversing field, trying to find anything, getting brought down. Great low tackle by the Fighting Scots, and it's going to be a loss maybe, or maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
I think he just got back to the line, maybe gained a foot. But
not
Vulcans
much.
are going to have to come up with some sort of answer here.
3rd down and 7 now for California. Ball on their own 19-yard line. Black getting the signal from the sideline. 1 receiver on the near side for California, 2 on the far. Fighting Scots. Fans letting him hear it. Pressure straight away. That pass incomplete. And again, just trying to find Isaiah Cameron out of the backfield. That time Black didn't really have a ton of time. They left that one a little bit behind Cameron, but
I don't
Vulcan's
know.
going to get sent off the field again. The punting unit coming back out.
Yeah, I don't know whose man that was to pick up on the near side, but Black turned around and saw 2 defenders coming his way. He saw Cameron and was wide open in the flats and just rushed him. The Vulcans are going to have an extra back there, something.
Yeah, 3 and out for California. Rosensteel's punt. This one a little bit easier to field for Edinboro. This one going to be taken inside of their own half and brought back. Great return inside of Vulcan territory, slipping a couple of tackles and finally being brought down inside the 30. It's Armani Bailey on the kick return for Edinboro and giving the Fighting Scots the ball on the Vulcan 27-yard line. Great return from Edinboro.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about when these two get together. Edinboro always seems to get like an early bit of momentum in the start to game, and Cal seems to fight back. So we'll see what happens here, if that's going to be the script of what we've seen the last couple of years.
6:44 left to go here in the first quarter. Fighting Scots with a 3-0 lead. 1st and 10 from the Vulcan 27. Bernard handoff to Troble. Troble hit immediately in the backfield and being brought down. That was Josh Miller first on the scene. Troble going to lose 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, Miller, Gage Hill, and a couple other guys coming in hard off the edge.
Yeah, a loss of maybe half a foot. 2nd and 11 now from the 28. Under 6.5 to go here in the first quarter. I like the signs that the Fighting Scots have on the far side for their play signaling.
And definitely interesting ones to see.
Some movement from both sides.
I think this one's gonna go against the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, see the referee on the far side signaling a false start.
It's gonna make this now a 2nd and 16. Backing them up all the way across the Vulcan 30, almost to the 35 now.
Yeah, they're gonna call that one on number 6, Mike Watkins, and I think he kind of got the short end of the stick there because there was some movement in and around the line before he started moving, and he saw everyone else moving. He started to go, but he's going to get the penalty pinned on him. 2nd and 16 now. Bernard, handoff to Trouble. Trouble met immediately in the backfield. Ball comes out, but the Fighting Scots able to jump on it. It's Sanago back there again, doing it all so far for this Vulcan defense.
Sanago, 2 weeks ago, PSAC Player of the Week. National Player of the Week for Division II. So they're going to say he was down by contact before the ball came out. But either way, it's a loss on the play and another big stop there by that Vulcan defense. Now, can they get it another one here or on 3rd down?
Yeah, 3rd and 16 from the Vulcan 34. It'd be huge. Be testing Reed's range. They're unable to get it. Some movement around the line again.
They almost got Sanago on the far side.
Sanago able to keep himself on Bernard in the gun, gets the snap. Bernard getting pressured in that ball. He's hit as he's throwing the ball. That one going to fall incomplete. It's Sanago again getting back to him. That's going to make it 4th down. Reed coming out, and so we know he can punt and we know he can kick, and it looks like from the way he's lining up, it's going to be a punt.
Yeah, watch. He could also do that rugby punt. I've seen him do it a couple of times now. But almost had that picked off was number 40, Josh Miller, coming up, nearly picking off that ball on the last play.
Yeah, trips formation on the far side. Very weird as Reed gets the snap. High, sailing punt. Fighting Scots in good position. Great job that time by Dominic Solomon Jr., kind of just getting in the way of the Fighting Scots, boxing him out and letting that ball roll into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, because we all know what would happen. He'd have swatted that one down, and the Vulcans would have really have been pinned back in their own territory.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected 3 90-plus yard touchdowns maybe in one season. That would have been asking a lot.
I mean, I've seen weirder things.
I mean, if that was the case, someone's going to needs to be hired by the NFL or something.
Yeah,
someone's going to be
coaching Division I next year.
Someone's moving their way up if they're going to get these big splash plays all over the field. 1st and 10 from the 20. 4:49 left in the first quarter. Black under center. Play action pass. Black rolling, firing. Catch is made. Can be brought down out of bounds, or right around the 1st down marker. It was Aiden Curry at number 42, the freshman, making his first reception of his career here at Cal. I think that's the first time I've seen Black under center the entire season as well.
I think you're right, Aiden. I was looking, I was like, wait a minute. Is that the first time that we've seen that happen? But sure enough.
Vulcans will take it, though. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Black now back to his familiar position in the gun. High snap, able to bring it down. Hand off to Boyd. Boyd bouncing this one towards the outside. Boyd able to run over defender, being brought down at the 38-yard line. Pickup of 8 or 9 on the play. Bobby Boyd had a great week last week, as that's his first rush of the game here today and picking up right where he left off.
Yeah, Boyd, I think, was one of the big factors in that offense for the Vulcans last week. He had to leave the game due to concussion protocol and was day-to-day for the longest time. We weren't sure if we were going to see him today, but glad to see he's out there.
And Coach singing his praises on the Coaches Show this week, talking to our director, Gary Smith, talking about how hard of and how just fast of a runner he is, just able to do it all here for California. 2nd and 2, handoff to Boyd again. Boyd able to slip through a couple of players, able to just find that little crease and able to fall forward to pick up enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, Boyd This is what IUC. He was part of the all Whipple team last year for McKeesport High School. Well, good pickup here by Coach Dunn for the freshman.
Gain of 3 on the play. 1st and 10 now from the 41-yard line. Boyd going to stay in the backfield alongside Black. Hamlin and Hopkins on the near side for California. Seven on the play clock. Black gets the snap, looking, firing deep down the left-hand side. That pass is caught and brought down inside of the 30. That's Amari Hopkins, another big play from the new wide receiver. And it's going to be another Vulcan first down and find themselves finally inside of inside Fighting Scott territory.
Amari Hopkins, one of the big names that came in this year. Here, the junior out of her from Bishop McDivitt in high school, coming up with a big catch there.
And the Vulcans will take that 1st and 10 now from the Fighting Scott 27. First time the Vulcans made their way inside of Fighting Scott territory. Trips on the far side for California. Boyd in the backfield next to Black. Black, screen pass, trying to find Boyd. In fact, he does. Boyd going to fall forward, pick up 1, maybe 2. Great coverage that time by the Fighting Scots.
Looks like they're going to give him 2 on that one, and which is great to see him moving up on the lot.
And we saw the screen in great effect last week for Eric Willis' second 90-plus yard touchdown, and that time trying to just slip Boyd out. 2nd and 8 now from the 25. Kalechi and Boyd in the backfield. 3 receivers for the Vulcans. Black gets the snap. Looking now, rolling out to his right, trying to evade some pressure. Black looking for anything, firing down the sideline. That pass incomplete, trying to get Hopkins making his way back towards Black, but that one going to fall incomplete. 3rd down and 8 now for California.
And we're in range for Beat-Co. Beat-Co's made some 50-plus yarders, but if you're Coach Dunn, you want to try to get a little bit closer for him.
I think if you're Coach Dunn, you want to get 7 or 6 at least on the board here. But points are points. 53 seconds left here. I cannot talk today. In the first quarter, Vulcans down 3-0 against the Fighting Scots. 7 seconds left on the play clock for Black.
Have to hurry.
4 receivers set for California. Black gets the snap, looking to his left, firing to his left. Pass caught on his left. And that's going to be enough for the first down. That was DeMonte Martin on the reception, and the Vulcans going to get a new set of downs.
Another newcomer to this offense for the Vulcans with Martin. Great to see him getting into this.
The Vulcans pick up another key 3rd down, keeping this drive alive. One that started on their own 20-yard line. Just under 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. Black in the gun, 3 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Play action pass, quick throw. That pass going to be tipped and intercepted. Great play by Edinboro out there. It was number 31, Logan Dexter, coming down with the interception. And another one on Davis Black's career here at California that isn't entirely his fault. Hit the receiver in the hands. That one just popped straight up in the air.
Well, and that's a drive killer. Not much you can do about that.
And again, that is something that we've seen so far from this Vulcan team. We've seen them drive. We've seen them pick up 3rd downs. We've seen them move the ball so well. But it seems like every time that they get into the opponent side of the field, they're prone to make mistakes. We saw them turn the ball over 3 times last week, a few more times in the week before. It's not something you want to see. 4 interceptions now on the season for Black. Be 1st and 10 now for the Fighting Scots. Handoff on the play. Short gain that time by Trouble.
Maybe a yard. I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
And it looks like the time will run out. That is the end of the first quarter at the Sox Harrison Stadium. The Fighting Scots, the 3-0 lead over the California Vulcans. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM, WCAL, the Vulcan Sports Radio Network.
A new season of Vulcan football is set to begin September 9th versus Kutztown, September 16th versus Shepherd, September 23rd at Edinboro, September 30 versus Clarion, October 7th at IUP, Homecoming October 14th versus Seton Hill, October 21st at Slippery Rock, October 28th versus Mercyhurst, November 4th at Gannon, November 11th at East Stroudsburg. All games available on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium as we begin the second chapter of today's game between California and Edinboro, where the Fighting Scots have a 3-0 lead after 1 quarter of play. The Vulcans on their last drive, driving down the field, had some good momentum, were able to get the offense rolling, but an interception, and an unlucky one at that, going against the Vulcans, and the Fighting Scots now find themselves with the ball, 2nd and 10 on their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, and that for the Vulcans, if you're out or the defense, you're going to want to go out and get a big stop here, or get and shift that momentum back your way. Play defense and stand tall. Bend, don't break mentality, as you said earlier on SAPE. So they're going to have to come up with something and get that ball back. Whether it's a fumble, the way Sanago's going, he's going to get one, and the Vulcans are going to end up with good field position if they don't get a defensive touchdown.
Yeah, Bernard and the rest of the Fighting Scots need to be wary of Ebe Sanago. 2nd and 10, Bernard in the gun. Play action pass, trying to go down the sideline. Him and his receiver not really on the same page, trying to find Aaron Hopkins trailing up that far sideline. That pass left behind him. 3rd down and 10 now for Edinboro.
And looking for another big stop here.
Vulcans changing out some defensive personnel. A lot coming on and off the field. Like you said, big 3rd down here for California. Not only do you want to get a stop, it would stop Edinboro deep inside of their own half. 4 receivers for the Fighting Scots. Bernard gets the snap. Bernard stepping up, going deep down the near sideline. Bernard, that pass going to be incomplete over the head of Watkins. Great coverage by the Vulcans, and California get themselves that big stop, bring up a 4th down.
And if your special teams, I don't know, say, would you bring the house or try to block the punt?
I mean, we've seen them do it before. I remember last year against Clarion, they blocked a punt. We've seen them block a couple kicks as well. It's not out of the wheelhouse of California, and it looks like they're going to line up, try to keep toe-to-toe with Edinboro, because like we said, we know they like to do some funny stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually get it.
Reed back to punt, and that one a little wobbly. Going to take a friendly Fighting Scot bounce. It landed at about the 50 and rolled another 20, almost 25 yards or so back inside of the Vulcan 25, down at the 22-yard line.
You see why Reed's one of the better kickers in his PSAC West division.
And that is a bounce you can only dream of as a kicker. I mean, it landed at the 50. It landed at midfield. It was about initially a 30, 40-yard punt in the air, and then went another 20 yards rolling on the ground. So the Vulcans going to start on their own 22, 1st down and 10. 3 receivers to the near side for California. The Vulcans need to conjure up something here on the offensive end. Handoff this time to McCann. McCann looking for any room and going to run into the brick wall, which is the Fighting Scots. Going to fall forward. Looks like the forward progress going to allow him to pick up 2, maybe 3. But so far, McCann and this rushing attack in general is not being able to get anything going.
Yeah, the Vulcans, they need to go back to what they did on the last drive, running wide. Is that little handoff on the outside, quick play action plays, stuff like that. Had to get back into this. They got to get something going here. You got to get points on this drive.
Vulcans going to get 2 on that play. 2nd and 8 from the 24. Trips on the near side again for California. Willis in motion. Now switching over to the far side. Black gets the snap. Black going deep down the near side. Has a man in his hands and falls right out of it. Had Amari Hopkins, and Hopkins was thinking about 6 right there. Had all the daylight in the world. Had a ton of room and a missed opportunity from California. And Amari Hopkins brings up a 3rd down now for California. It's so hard not to sound like that was like a kind of a gut punch right there, but the Vulcans had 6 on the board, and I think Hopkins just got ahead of himself.
Yeah, Hopkins, if he makes that catch, it's literally a foot race to the house, and we're talking about a momentum shifter and points on the board. But what are you going to do?
3rd and 8. Black looking to throw. Black going towards his near side. That pass is caught. Great throw, and Hopkins rights his wrongs, makes the catch at the 41-yard line. And great little finesse throw over 2 defenders from Black. And the Vulcans getting to the line very quickly, trying to catch out the Fighting Scots, changing personnel.
Yeah, and they're going to hurry up. Great to see them using it again.
Black going deep down the far side this time, trying to find Willis. That pass going to be incomplete. And Edinboro wanting a offensive pass interference called. It was
that's Reed Martin over there. He's preaching his case to the official. Even the coaches are asking about it. But they're going to have to watch, or they might get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
And I'm not one to speak against my team, but I think he might have had a fair case.
I'm not. It was borderline, and you get a little bit of hand fighting going on.
Yeah, Martin's doing it all out there, kicking, punting, playing corner, and that time that throw from Black just a little bit too far out of Willis's reach. 2nd down and 10 now from the Vulcan 41-yard line. Black in the gun, 3 receivers on the far side again. Handoff again to McCann. McCann spinning, tumbling forward, picking up a bit more this time. 6 on the ground for Eric McCann. Going to get brought down at the 47-yard line. 3rd and 4 now for Cal.
And made something out of nothing on that play as he rumbled forward. Or how many times last year did we see McCann just spit in and juke jive and just lower the shoulder or to get extra yardage, and he did it there. Or brings it up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that's one thing you can say about him. He's always moving, and ran into his own man, it looked like, spun around and was able to just fall backwards. Like as he's falling backwards but going forwards, picks up 6. 3rd and 4 from the Vulcan 47-yard line. Like you said, not imperative that they get points here, but definitely would be good for them. Quick pass, almost intercepted, trying to find Kalechi on this near side. Great coverage that time by Ahmad Brown, the safety, the junior, 6 foot. Just used all of it to get in front of Kalechi and force a 4th down.
I don't want to be down there with that offensive meeting when they come to the sideline, because I guarantee Coach is going to have a few things to say. Hey, but the problem was on that one, and Black was looking and Kalechi down. So the defenders knew where it was going, and so going to have to change up the play style a little bit.
Yeah, and we can hear the coaches to the box to our left, so we definitely have a clear idea of how they felt about that one, as I heard a bunch of pounding on some desk over there. Rosensteel out again. Movement around the line of scrimmage. And both teams pointing fingers. It looked like Edinboro may have moved first, but waiting to see the official call. But the Vulcans now pointing towards the Fighting Scots way.
I think this one was going against Edinboro, so I think they may have just gave the Vulcans a 1st down.
And if so, that's a big break for California, because the 5-yard gain would be enough for a 1st down. Both teams not moving off the field quite yet, waiting to see the official call. And that's exactly what it is, offside against Edinboro. And that's going to be a 5-yard gain, going to move the ball inside of Fighting Scott territory, and that'll be enough for a 1st down, so the Vulcans catch a break.
Yeah, good heads up there by the Vulcans. Great to see him pulling in a little stunt there, but hey, whatever works. I mean we've called old plays called refreezer, or it was literally just to get players to jump offside. And in this case, the Vulcans might have took that out of the playbook and used it.
Yeah, I think if you're Edinboro there, that is just a very undisciplined play, because you know that's the Vulcans are going to try to do everything you can to get you to jump offside, and you just did exactly what they wanted you to do.
Yep, exactly. Now you gave Black a breather and time to figure out stuff with the defense.
And maybe make a few adjustments. 1st and 10 now from the Edinboro 48. Williams in the backfield alongside Black. two receivers in motion, and that has to be a flag.
Yep, we were just talking about being disciplined, and what just happened, miscommunication, and it's going to back the Vulcans up 5. At least it's still the first down, though.
Yeah, Willis started off in motion, then Hopkins started off in motion right after him. You can't have two players in motion at the same time. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. Ball going to be flipped back onto the Vulcan side of the field. And Coach wanting an explanation on this near side, talking to the referee. Don't really think there's much to discuss there. And once again, the Vulcans team 13th in the conference, in the PSAC, in the entirety of the East and the West, and penalty yards per game given to them, 82.5 per game, which is not what you want at all. No. I mean, that's almost the entire length of the field you're giving up in penalties per game. Hopkins in motion. And the fumble, ball thrown on the ground. Black going to say he's trying to throw the ball forward. And
I think the refs are going to agree with him on that as well. Oh, they're saying Ape, as it looked like he was doing a shuffle pass forward. So, since it was technically a forward pass, it's incomplete.
Yeah, the Vulcans again catch a break. I mean, that is as close as it gets to disaster, catastrophe.
Yeah, because no one was catching those defenders whatsoever.
I mean, there was 4 of them 40 yards away from everyone else of California. That was a touchdown, and that was a big swing in favor of the Fighting Scots. But the Vulcans going to count their lucky stars tonight. They'll take that.
Avery Ennis was on the play for that one and looking for that scoop and score. So
Black gets the snap. Under some pressure, looking, now rolling to his right, trying to find some blockers. Makes a man miss. Great move by Black. Going to fall forward back to the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to 3rd and 10 now for California.
Yeah, good awareness there by Black. He took off, juked one of the defenders out of his shoes, and made another guy miss before getting tripped up. So hopefully we can see the Vulcans get a little bit closer here.
He was able to get past number 17, Ty Thornton of the Fighting Scots. And Black may not be the prettiest runner of the ball. I say that as someone that definitely does not run the ball very pretty at all, but he is very effective when he does. 3rd and 11 now for California. Ball on the Fighting Scot, 49-yard line. Black back to throw. Black has a man wide open, and that's Willis, and Willis has enough for that first down.
I believe that's going to be Willis's first reception of the game, and I am correct. That is his first. So, you got to give Edinboro credit. They've covered up Willis pretty good so far. But you left him get loose there just for a moment.
In a similar play to where Hopkins caught it on that 3rd down previously, where it was just able to find a little pocket of space just past that first down marker on this near sideline. The Vulcans will take it 1st and 10 from the Fighting Scot 36. 10:43 left to go here in the first half. Handoff this time to Williams. Williams looking for a lane. Can't find it. Going to get brought down.
That was borderline in horse collars. He was up around that helmet area. You got to watch as a defender grabbing up there. Don't want to reach it in because that's 15 yards you don't want to give up to the Vulcans right now.
And again, if you're Edinboro, that would be a huge boost to California's offensive efforts here. Williams going to get forward, going to get the forward progress. Like, again, I can't talk today. Around the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 now from the 36. Black, play action pass, trying to find his man and wanted to have a pass interference call. Was trying to find DeMonte Martin, and there was some hands, some grabbing in and around.
I think we're going to get Black's going to have to go get checked out real quick. I think he might have gotten busted open a little bit, so we're going to see the backup quarterback come into play.
Yeah, for California now onto the field at quarterback, number 19, Alex
Allridge.
Allridge, the redshirted freshman. Allridge out there, usually the one signaling the play calls for Black, now going to be filling in his place. 3rd down and 10 will be a big moment for him and this Vulcan offense. Want to pick up a couple to try to get it close for Bico to attempt a field goal. Allridge under pressure. Aldridge able to get it off on the screen pass. And the run forward, and he's still going. inside of the 15, down inside of the 10-yard line.
What a play there from Allridge. Your first play, your first official snap as a Vulcan, and for the redshirt freshman from Lower Burrell High School. Oh, what a play there.
Allridge able to get it to Cameron, and Cameron broke 4, 5, 6 tackles on his way inside of the 10. A flag thrown on the back end. But
I think there was some pushing and shoving, so I think this is going to stand. So first down, Vulcans.
Impressive from Allridge to take it's going to be a face mask call against Edinboro.
And you just gave him, you literally have the Vulcans knocking on the door now.
I mean, impressive from Allridge, able to deal with the pressure, had corners blitzing on both sides, able to get the screen pass off, and Cameron, man, I mean, he broke off 4, 5, 6, 7 tackles, took on the entirety of the Fighting Scots defense to get the ball inside of the 10, and after that face mask call, the ball will be placed on the 4-yard line, so first and goal for California on the doorstep of the Fighting Scots, looking to take the lead.
I feel like down here you have to give it to McCann now.
And McCann in the backfield next to Black. Man in motion. Black going to keep it himself, and Black trying to fall forward. Not going to pick up much, if any, at all. Second down and goal.
Yeah, I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think you're right to think that they were going to hand it off to McCann, but that time Black kept it. Not much room. Fighting Scots swarming and able to get back there. Hold Black to nothing on the play. Second and goal now from the 5. 3 receivers on the near side. The Vulcans looking to spread out this Fighting Scots defense. McCann to Black's left. Black gets the snap, throwing, firing, catching, and scoring. It's Eric Willis III. Breaks the Vulcans open, gets the Vulcans the lead after the 5-yard score.
Yeah, good play there. Us left him open, and the Borough defenders decided to go play zone there and just left him wide open. He found a little pocket between defenders, and Vulcans are on the board. It's 6-3.
You can only keep Eric Willis III down for so long. Going to come up when the Vulcans need it the most. Beatco on to attempt the extra point. Some movement around the line again.
I think this one's going to go against Borough again. It's going to be about half the distance to the goal if they so choose. And that's what the refs are pointing at Edinboro.
And if you're California here, would you consider going for it? Going for the 2-point conversion?
Me personally, I'd consider it. I would, just to take that risk.
Yeah, it looks like Beatco was looking to the sideline to see what Coach Dunn wanted to do, because I think that is definitely a worthy talking consideration, considering the ball would be placed on, the 1-yard line?
Yeah, it's on the 1 that you go for. I would have probably gone for it.
Either way, the field goal unit still going to be out. Beatco to attempt the extra point. Snap low, but Beatco's kick is up. And Beatco's kick is good. The Vulcans 7-3 with the lead. 8:02 left here in the second quarter. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on CUTV Sports 1, the PSEC Network, and 91.9 FM.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans now reclaim the lead 7-3 after the 5-yard touchdown pass from Black to Willis. Beatco on the kickoff. This one dangerously from rolling out of bounds again, going to be fielded by Stanfield inside and inside of his own 10-yard line, going to get brought down at around the 5. The Vulcan special teams unit swarming, and after that kickoff return last week for a touchdown, that's something that the team definitely needed to work on.
I guarantee you that they worked on that at hardcore this week. So, the Vulcans definitely looking to bounce back from last week. Learned from their mistakes, and we saw what happened there. There's a big stop inside the tent, and now, I mean, would it be crazy to see the Vulcans get a safety out here? I mean, inside the 5, you knock them back 1 or 2 times.
I mean, there's 5 players on the line for California. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw Coach send the house. First and 10, quick pass caught on the near side by Stanfield.
Oof, that was close. That was borderline close. I mean, that was like the interception last week against Shepherd.
Picks up 2, maybe 3. Going to be given 3, 2nd and 7 now from the 8-yard line. 7:35 left to go in the first half. And one of the players for me, I was talking to you about this a little bit before, my personal favorite part of the game is the name game. Thaddeus Stanfield, I think, is one of the strongest names I've seen thrown out on the football field.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one.
Handoff this time to Troble. Troble has a ton of room, and Troble is able to pick up a first down and a couple extra. And like we talked about, this was one of the big reasons that Edinboro was able to win last week against Bloomsburg, was this running attack. And with Troble able to pick up another big gain.
Yeah, because you have to worry about them going with that read option play out there. So, the Vulcans have to be mindful of it. So they're trying not to overcommit on the run, but you have to respect with Troble and Bernard.
1st and 10 now from the 18, 10-yard gain, that time from Troble. Man in motion, Bernard in the back. Going to pitch it. Fakes the handoff, pitches it outside. That's going to be Hopkins catching it. Going to be forced out of bounds after picking up a few. Didn't think he was out of bounds. Tried to rush himself forward to pick up a few more.
Yeah, that's that wide receiver option. We've seen it, and I know our producer Gary Smith isn't going to be too thrilled with this one when I say it, but we've seen it with that old school West Virginia offense of the days of Geno Smith and Tavon Austin.
Ooh.
And yeah, I knew I was waiting for it, but I'm not wrong in that sense.
The Fighting Scots definitely have the pieces to do it. Hopkins, 6'3", 230, listed as the tight end. Quick throw and caught by Stanfield on the far side. Stanfield trying to get himself forward, waiting to see where the forward progress spots him. Looks like he's going to be just shy of the first down.
I think he's shy about a yard or 2, maybe 3 shy of the sticks. They're going to say he's short by 2 yards. So, the Vulcans can come up with another stop here. It's going to be big with under 6 minutes to go here in the first half.
When he ran out of bounds, it definitely looked a lot closer to the first down marker than what the spot was given. 3rd and 2. Bernard keeps it again. Bernard able to break a tackle, and great tackling in the open field by California, because if not, Bernard maybe could be finding his way into the end zone. I believe that was number 72, Noah Silva, on the tackle. And like I said, if Silva isn't making that tackle, that's going to be at least another 10, 15 yards.
Yeah, so big stop for him. Otherwise, Bernard might be scampering to the house.
5:10 left to go here in the first half. 1st and 10 from the Fighting Scot 35. Bernard, play action pass, going deep down the right-hand side. That pass pulled in and forced out. They're going to call it a fumble, and the Vulcans are going to pick it up. They're fighting for it. Every player on the team trying to go up for it.
Silva's going to get the recovery. I think they're going to talk this one over. But I think you might be right, Sape, because it was a catch, 1 step, 2 step, 3, a fumble. So, therefore, I think we're going to have a Vulcan in turnover here.
They're going to give it to California, and it was very close. Like you said, he pulled it in on that far side. It looked like it was a great throw from Bernard, a great pull, and a flag thrown on the field as well after the play, I think, on that far side. The referee's looking over to discuss it, but at the same time, the Vulcans punched it out, and I think everyone on the team was really confused because no one wanted to seem to just jump on top of the ball.
Either way, a ball's on the ground, you're jumping on it. I don't care who you are or where you're from. And what kind of football. If it's that ball's on the ground, you're jumping on it.
We're waiting to see what the signal is going to be the offense and the defense for both teams still staying out on the field. So they're going to call it a holding before. I think it's going to be a holding call before the play. So that's going to give the Fighting Scots, I believe, some yards. I can't quite tell because it's really hard to hear the referee, but the Fighting Scot offense still going to stay on the field. So the Vulcans with another turnover that's going to be called back after they had it. We saw that one last week where it was a roughing the passer that nullified an interception from Dominic Solomon Jr., I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that would... Again, that was close. A lot of hand fighting there going down the sideline. And so it's hard to say.
Yeah, it looks like the ball going to be moved forward 10 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 10, Edinboro ball at their own 45. And after all that, after all the commotion on the field, it's Edinboro ball.
It's going to have to go back out and get another one.
Got to make sure that the mental for the Vulcans doesn't waver. 1st and 10, handoff to Troble. Troble able to bounce it to the outside, and Troble hurdles over a Vulcan into the Vulcan territory. I mean, you want to talk about athleticism at its peak performance. Troble showing it off.
I think he just hurdled over Silva. I'm pretty sure that's who he just jumped over top of.
I think you're absolutely right.
And Silva's not a small one to jump over. Or listed on the roster, 6'3".
6'3", 295. I mean, that time Troble hurdled over a freight train.
Yeah, because he was coming for him, too. Ooh.
8-yard gain, 2nd and 2, ball on the Vulcan 47. The Fighting Scots picking up some momentum. As we're about to fall under 4 minutes. Play action pass. Bernard going deep down this far side again. Has a man, had a few steps, but that pass just overthrown, trying to find Stanfield on that far side. Stanfield had the separation, but the throw just off the mark.
Yeah, we've seen it as the last couple of games for Edinboro. I went back and looked at some game film save, and so that was the one thing Bernard. He gets those at separation he needs for his one-on-one to cover. It's down the sideline. But there's times he just overthrows his receivers. So we might see that a couple more times today.
Yeah, you like to see maybe some better finesse on those passes by your quarterback. That's something super crucial to an attack like this, is where you're running the ball so hard and you want to capitalize on this play action passes. 3rd and 2, quick pass from Bernard over the middle. That pass is caught and brought down immediately. It was Armani Bailey on the reception, and that catch enough for the first down.
Yeah, as we saw, once again, that Vulcan defense looking to punch the ball out again and trying to get another turnover.
The Vulcans would get the ball to start the second half, and if you're California, you really want to get it back in this first half. 3:36 left to go, because you want to get at least one more try to tack on some points before the end of the half.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Xavier making the noise over here this time.
Bernard play action pass, trying to find Troble in the flat, and in fact he does. Some screams from the fans just underneath of us, looking for a holding call in the backfield, but Troble going to pick up one, maybe two, going to get forced out at around the 40-yard line, 2nd down and 9 for the Fighting Scots. And we've seen this time and time again from this Vulcan defense, where it seems like their back is against the wall. It seems like they've got nothing left to give, and they've been able to hold out, been able to force some key stops. And another one on the cards here for California as we are under the 3-minute mark at 2:45 left to go in the first half. Bernard gets the snap, handoff on the reverse play, and a great move, and the pile falling forward around the first down marker.
He's going to be short by, I think, just a yard.
It was Mike Watkins on the handoff.
No, they're going to give it to him.
And it looks like they're going to give him just enough for that first down. And like we've seen with this offense, with the way that they're running the ball, there's so many players on the field for Edinboro at any given time that is just such a threat with the ball in their hand. And the Vulcans sending on some of the heavy hitters in terms of personnel. I saw Miller and Sinago back onto the field for California. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 from the Vulcan 32. The Fighting Scots trying to reclaim the lead. Bernard under Pressure gets this throw off down the far sideline. That pass incomplete. Trying to find Stanfield again, and that time great coverage. I believe it was Tyan Loban on the coverage for California.
And you'd be correct. Hank Loban and the junior here once again coming up with a big stop there for the Vulcans, keeping the Scots from getting 6 on that one.
And that time Bernard able to reel it in, able to put that one right where Stanfield could catch it, but great coverage by Loban, forces the incompletion and takes 6 off the board because, that was a touchdown. 2nd down and 10 now from the Vulcan 32-yard line. 1:43 left to go in the first half. Edinboro still have all 3 of their timeouts, so plenty of time for them to work with. Bernard, quick throw to the flat, and that ball popped up immediately out of play, trying to find Aaron Hopkins. I'm going to see if they're going to call that incomplete.
Yeah, that's where they're going to list it as an incomplete pass. So, great awareness by that Vulcan defense and just lowered the boom.
And again, Hopkins is not a small guy at all. That's someone that you got to bring down, and you got to do it pretty hard. And that time, the Vulcans able to pop him, able to force that one up and give their defense a chance to make the play, maybe pick that one off, force a fumble. But at the end of the day, incomplete pass, 3rd and 10 now from the Vulcan 32.
Yeah, I believe that was Matt Toby on the hit at there. And Toby's not a small player neither.
And Toby not afraid to lay the boom. 3rd and 10. Whistle blown, I think. Timeout going to be taken.
Yeah, I think California's going to call the timeout. You got 1:38 left to go in the half. Probably going to talk things over here because you don't want to give up that free yardage for Edinboro to get in the field goal range for Reed. You want to play smart, get the ball back, run your 2-minute drill down the field. Well, if you can, get at 6. But if you can't, get 3. Go in the locker room with a little bit of a cushion. Come back out in the next half. You get the football to start.
Yeah, at the beginning of the next half, it's kind of just a reset of the mental, and that's going to be big because so far California not putting on the greatest display like we saw against Kutztown. Didn't really put their best foot forward in that first half, but looking at their upcoming schedule, obviously next week against Clarion at home before traveling up to IUP on October 7th for another annual Coal Bowl. Always one of, if not the biggest game of the season. Then after that one, home against Seton Hill for homecoming before traveling up to the Rock of Slippery Rock on October 21st before coming back home to face off against Mercyhurst. And then they round off the season at Gannon and at East Stroudsburg. So not a tough, absolutely completely wrong. It's a very tough stretch of games there for California.
And you got you got 3 teams in the top 25 right now as East Stroudsburg just cracked the top 25 this week. 3-0 right now to start their season. And next week they have Shepherd. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that game.
Bernard back to throw. Going deep down the middle of the field. That pass is pulled in right around the goal line. It was Hopkins. Made the catch. You're going to get called short at about the half-yard line. Great throw and catch.
Yeah, and the Vulcan sideline wanting a pass interference call, but they're not going to get it because it was pretty close to a shove-off on that play.
Bernard to Hopkins. And now the Fighting Scots find themselves inches away from reclaiming the lead. If you want to talk about the doorstep, they're cracking it open and trying to make their way inside of the Vulcan home. We're at 1:10 left to go here in the first half. And the Fighting Scots also not going to be weary of running off as much time. Wildcat from Edinboro. And it looks like it's not going to work out. Stopped right at the door. The ball's out.
The Vulcans are saying they got the football.
It was Keon Anderson, number 22, on the run, waiting to see what the call is, but everyone's signaling that the ball came out. The referee is stopping the clock and now discussing, trying to figure out what's going to happen, but
I feel like they might have to put like 3 seconds back on the clock because it took them a moment to get that.
It's going to be a Vulcan football. California get the stop that they need. It's not what you would have wanted it, but they'll take it. Forced fumble at the 1.
But here's the other thing. You still have 2 timeouts to work with. 50 seconds. If you can get some big plays down the field, well, you're going to be trying to get some points on the board here quick.
I couldn't see who popped it out. I couldn't see who got on top of it for California, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because California get the ball. They stop Edinboro from getting it. It looks like they're moving the ball out to the 15 as well, so it's going to say it was a touchback.
Yeah, so what happened, the ball popped out in the end zone. It's a touchback, so it's going to be moved out to the 20. So, the Vulcans now working with a little bit of a better field position. Instead of working at the 1, you only got 80 yards to go instead of 99.
With a little bit of better field position, this completely changes everything. I mean, you're worried about a safety on the first play if you're California. Now the ball at your own 20 with 50 seconds. You got all the time in the world. I mean, I say that you got a decent amount of time. You got 2 timeouts left.
Well, if you can get the midfield and get a timeout and then get down to the 20, use your other timeout, you're in good shape.
I mean, if you're California, hopefully that breathes some fresh air into the lungs of this Vulcan offense. They're going to run it on first down, trying to pick up some easy yardage. It's Cameron on the carry, going to get brought down at the 20 to the 23. The Vulcans seem to be content with just letting things play out there. I think with the difference between the play clock and the game clock, about 1 second. So they're going to have to get a playoff at least, but I don't think it really matters to them. Looks like they're probably just going to hand it off one more time and go into half up 7-3.
Or just go off script, just do a play fake and heave one down on the field. We've seen crazier things happen.
I mean, that would be something for California. 7 seconds. Hand off to Cameron again. Cameron bumbling forward, breaks off a few tackles, and if you're California, I mean, that's been a bright spot so far, as Cameron breaking some tackles, and that is the end of the first half here at the Sox Harrison Stadium. The Vulcans with a 7-3 lead over the Edinboro Fighting Scots. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here for the start of the second half on CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, 91.9 FM, WCAL Power 92, and your home of the Vulcan Sports Radio Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard. Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/Vulcans Make a Difference to make your gift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sox Harrison Stadium here in Edinboro, Pennsylvania for the beginning of the second half between California and Edinboro. The Vulcans with a 7-3 lead over the Fighting Scots. And if you look at that scoreline, definitely not one that would maybe catch the eye of many people, but it's
not one I would have expected to see, especially after how the Vulcans exploded for 35 points last week. But here we are, halftime. Looking at the stats, first downs in the game for the Vulcans, you had 10 on 50 rushing yards, 115 receiving yards for a total of little over 165 yards there for the Vulcans. However, penalties have been a factor. The Vulcans have 4 for 34 yards, and Edinboro 4 penalties for 16 yards. The Vulcans also on third down conversions 4 of 7, and Edinboro 4 of 8. And then the other thing is the turnover game. Edinboro's had 2 fumbles and lost one of them. Also got an interception as well. Well, for 3 yards, but the Vulcans have been playing that game of they're getting pressure there to quarterback Bernard, or they're forcing him to make passes he doesn't want to have to make. But it's one of those days you're like, you see the Vulcans defense is doing good. They're being that big, brutal defense that we've come to know. But they are just struggling out there today to get stuff going on offense.
Yeah, I think the way that any way you look at it, you can look at all these stats here. The first downs, 10 for the Vulcans compared to the 4 of Edinboro. Like you said, 165 total yards of offense for California compared to a little over 100 for Edinboro. Time of possession, 14 minutes 22 for California compared to the 7-8 minutes of the or a lot more time for California compared to Edinboro. And when you look at all these stats like added up, it just does not seem like it's that type of game. Like you look at the stats, it seems like California definitely has a comfortable control of the game, but whenever you actually sit here looking at it going toe for toe, it seems like the game has definitely favored Edinboro a lot more in terms of just how the dice has been rolling, how it's been able to, the momentum has been able to swing. And so it's just been a very strange, I think, culmination of things for California and for Edinboro. And the Vulcans still with the lead. They're going to get the ball back to start the second half, and we saw them do this against Kutztown in week 1, where they that first half put up only 7 points, and then they exploded and scored over 20-something unanswered points to take down the Golden Bears. So I wouldn't put it past California to do that, but I also it's also a bit, I guess, unsettling if you're California, because if you, like we said this in the game last week, if you play against a good team, you cannot start off the game like they have been, because a good team like Shepherd will put you in the dirt. And
speaking of which, Shepherd's down right now to Kutztown, 6-0 coming out of halftime.
And we've seen Shepherd not start off the game super well either. The Vulcans have a chance to turn things around here as we start the second half. Hamlin going to receive the ball at the 4-yard line for California. Hamlin trying to find a lane on the outside, and in fact, he finds one. Hamlin going to get pushed out of bounds by Reed, the kicker. Again, who says kickers aren't athletes?
Yeah, but you also got to think Reed does double duty out there. So a little not surprised on that one, but good field position for the Vulcans to start right around their own 26-yard line.
Yeah, great return for Hamlin, and I think it is a little bit cheating to disservice Reed on that, but it's always funny to talk about being I used to kick a little bit as well, so we can take a look at some other stats. Second quarter between Clarion and Gannon. Clarion up 17-0 over the Golden Knights. A lot of games going on in this Erie area today. 3 football games, some volleyball, tennis, everything to boot. First play of the second half, handoff to McCann. McCann pulled down strongly in the backfield. I thought maybe the defender got a handful of collar on the way down.
Man, it's a little surprised because it looked like McCann went backwards as we do have an injured Vulcan on the field, and it looks like it might be McCann,
Yeah,
actually.
I think it is, and McCann got pulled down, and he got pulled down hard. And McCann, who did not play in the game last week against Shepherd, dealing with some injury struggles, and one of the leading backs for this Vulcan team is not something you want to see again, as he's slow to get up. Hopefully everything is all right with him, but, I mean, while we have a second, we can take a look at and talk about some of the other games going on in the PSAC today.
Yeah, right now looking at IUP, they traveled up here to play Mercyhurst today. They're up 3-0 and about halfway through the first quarter there. The other game in the West here we got to keep an eye on is Slippery Rock at Seton Hill, but that game does not kick off for about another hour and a half yet. So a little bit of time on that one. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that at Kutztown Shepherd game, as that's a close one for sure.
McCann able to walk off the field on his own power, so hopefully everything is all right with him, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of him later on in this game, because he's going to be crucial for the Vulcans going down the stretch here. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Black in the gun, play action pass, rolling to his left, has a man firing deep down the field, caught by Hopkins. Hopkins brought down inside of Fighting Scott territory. Big gain from this Vulcan offense as they're moving in.
Yeah, and I think that opening kickoff might have woken them up to get them started here and get that momentum rolling over the Vulcans.
All it takes is one play. You just need one. You need something to light the spark of the offensive flame. In California, I mean, they'll take it. They'll take anything they can get. And I was talking to our producer and our director here today, Gary Smith, earlier, during the halftime, and he said this drive super important for California. If they don't get points on the board, they at least need to take off some time. They need to be able to pin Edinboro back. But the Vulcan, the way they're moving right now, looking to put 6 on the board. 1st and 10. Hand off to Boyd. Boyd spins off of one tackle before falling forward, picking up a few. Like we talked about, these California backs make something out of nothing.
Yeah, and that's been the story of this game so far for that Vulcan offense. I mean, looking at this, they're already run off 2 minutes of this game here in the third quarter, and now are 35 yards away from scoring.
And the Vulcans, I think, have a chance here to not blow the game open, but take commanding control. 2nd and 8, handoff again to Boyd. Boyd looking for room, fights off one tackle before being brought down by the second. Going to pick up another 2 on the play. 3rd down and 6 now for California.
Yeah, good run in there by Boyd. Gets about 3-4 yards every time he gets the ball, which is good.
I'll say I have actually 4.4 yards per attempt on the season. Had that written down on my giant note sheet here today. Yeah, there's no camera, so you can't see it.
Oh, I wish we could have been able to put up the camera today so they could have seen that.
Spent about 2 hours doing this at 2 in the morning this morning.
Not the greatest idea you had on the
I mean, I've had worse. I've had better ideas, but I definitely have had worse ideas.
Yeah.
3rd and 6 for California. Fighting Scott setting the house. Pass thrown and complete over the middle for the 1st down. That's going to be Hopkins again on the reception, and some more pushing and shoving after the play between Martin of California and number 2 for Edinboro, Ahmad Brown. Brown threw down Martin into the sidelines after the play was over, and Martin was not happy about that.
I was going to say, he's lucky he didn't get a 15-yard penalty on that.
So both teams told to cool it. And the Vulcans will take the 1st down nonetheless. 1st and 10 now from the Fighting Scott 22-yard line, 11:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Trips on the far side for Boyd, in the backfield to his left. It's going to be a handoff to Boyd. Boyd finds a lane, and Boyd going to make his way to the outside, spinning and being brought down inside of the 5-yard line. Going to get marked down at the 5. And that's what we're talking about. Coach said on the show, no one is as fast of a runner as Boyd. And the Vulcans, before I can even talk about it, are going to the line quickly here. They want to get the ball into the end zone. Handoff again to Boyd. Boyd powering through, powering forward. Going to get pushed into the end zone for the touchdown. Back-to-back runs from Boyd, and the Vulcans tack on 6 more.
I think they're going to mark him short.
Never mind. I spoke too soon.
They marked him short. They're saying he's down on inches from the end zone. but it looked like everyone else. And I agree with you, Sape. I thought he scored.
The way that they were celebrating, it looked like they were able to push him in, but I guess the pile was not moving for long enough to be considered into the end zone. The Vulcans doing a Philadelphia Eagles special here. 3 players behind Davis Black. Ball on the half-yard line. Black under center. Black going to get the ball, and Black not going to get it. Not only is he not going to get it, he's going to lose a few yards on the play.
They had backed up to the full 1 yard line now. But you have to give the Vulcans credit at getting gutsy here. And I mean, you've already run off 5 minutes here in the third quarter.
And for all the people online that want that play removed, that banned from the NFL, that just proves you why that it doesn't always work. And maybe it's just because the Philadelphia Eagles on running that play are just way better at it than everyone else.
Even Kansas City can run that play. But then again, Mahomes makes magic out of every play he does.
I mean, you need to have perfect offensive line play in that middle, and that time the Fighting Scots were able to get a stop. 3rd and goal now from the 1. Handoff to McCann, and McCann gets into the end zone for the touchdown. And after all that, the Vulcans finally break the seal. Tack on 6 more with the 1 yard rush from McCann. Waiting the extra point from Biko. Exactly what the Vulcans needed to start the second half.
And just what you need to do. Now momentum's on their side. Now they dictate how this game goes.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have written it up better. If you would have wanted to, took some good time off the clock, got the ball into the end zone, send Biko on for the extra point. His kick is up, and his kick is good. 14-3 the score, 9:17 left to go here in the third. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on CUTV. CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM WCAL.
A new season of Vulcan football is set to begin September 9th versus Kutztown, September 16th versus Shepherd, September 23rd at Edinboro, September 30 versus Clarion, October 7th at IUP, Homecoming October 14th versus Seton Hill, October 21st at Slippery Rock, October 28th versus Mercyhurst, November 4th at Gannon, November 11th at East Stroudsburg. All games available on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans take a 14-3 lead after a nice long drive, finished off by the 1 yard rush from Eric McCann III. And the Vulcans start off the second half in perfect fashion, get the ball into the end zone, and now Beatco's kick underway to start off the first drive of the Fighting Scots as Stanfield fields it at his own 1 yard line before being brought down just past his own 20 to the 21.
Yeah, he's going to get dragged down around the 21 yard line. And so you knew he was going to be watched. It's like a hawk by that kickoff team of the Vulcans. But right now, California with all the momentum, scoring on their opening drive, take about almost 6 minutes off the clock here to start the third. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play things out here.
I saw some fun little movements on the sideline from Anthony Beatco and his parents, who I was talking to earlier on, and everyone seeming very excited for this game. First down and 10 from the 21. Quick throw and quick catch to Stanfield, and Stanfield spinning to the outside, breaking a tackle, and Stanfield making his way out of bounds, going to be pushed out at the 45. 2, 3, 4 flags thrown in and around that catch area, waiting to see what the call is.
I think this might be offensive pass interference, Sape.
Both teams not wanting to move from where they want to go. The offense for Edinboro wants to move forward, and like you said, maybe after the discussion, the ball's going to be placed further back. It's going to be a face mask call against California, and that is
not what you wanted.
Not what you wanted. Like you said, big gain already on the play from Russell to Stanfield, and then you tack on 15 more, or Bernard, excuse me, to Stanfield. You tack on 15 more. Now the ball suddenly on the 40-yard line of California. 1st and 10 from the Vulcan 40. 8:50 left to go here in the third quarter. Bernard, play action, rolling to his right. Bernard looking for the pass deep down the field. Has a man, and that one just off the mark again, trying to find Watkins, and once more he had his receiver. That one, again, just a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier, or just a little bit too far out in front of his receivers. He's done it a couple of times now.
Yeah, and another one where you would love to just have that polish on the end of the throw. The play worked very well. Watkins had a ton of room and had a few steps on the defender, and if he's able to make that catch, that's 30-plus yards deep inside the Vulcan red zone. Now 2nd and 10 from the 40. Tribble in the backfield next to Bernard. Tribble going to get the call. Handoff, runs into a fleet of Vulcans, picks up 2, maybe 3. Big third down coming up for both teams.
Yeah, I feel like on one side for California, you want to keep the momentum, get the stop here, get the ball back, and go to work with the offense and give that defense a breather. On the opposite side for Edinboro, they definitely need to score here, because if they don't, California might run away with this one and put another 6 on the board. Yeah,
this is a big possession for either team. Imperative for Edinboro to score if they want to have any say in this game, and imperative for the Vulcans to get a big stop. 3rd and 7. Vulcans sending the house. Bernard get hit, and the ball comes out, and the Vulcans going to jump on top of it. They're not going to call an incomplete pass, I don't think. It looks like the Vulcans are going to come up with potentially another takeaway. Everyone's signaling California ball, and the Vulcans come out of the pack with it. That's Hutchinson with his paws on the ball, and the Vulcans come up with a big turnover.
Yeah, hold everything. There's a flag on the field, though.
Because why wouldn't there be, you know? There always seems to be one lingering around. And you see Sinago for the Vulcans throwing his hands up in the air, trying to figure out what could possibly have happened, and the Vulcan defense now making their way back onto the field. Another turnover for California taken away from them.
Maybe. This could have went against Edinboro.
Well, the way that both teams are setting up here, the Vulcan defense back on the field, the Edinboro offense back out on the field, I think more than likely going to go against the Vulcans. And they're going to call it an incomplete pass instead of a fumble. And again, it's that gray area where it's super close, where it looks like the arm's coming forward to make the attempted throw, but he's hit immediately by 2 or 3 Vulcan defenders. The ball comes out of his hands, and the Vulcans, the Fighting Scots, catch up with a big break.
It looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 7 now. Gutsy call, and like we talked about before, I'm no coach, and I would be a terrible coach because this would be the stuff that I like to do. I like to roll the dice, and I think if you're Edinboro, it's a good chance if you get this first down. Big momentum swinger. 4th and 7. Bernard getting the snap. Max protection. Throw down the sideline. That pass broken up. Incomplete. Perfect coverage. Stanfield couldn't pull it in. And it was Rashawn Murray on the coverage for California. Big stop.
And not only does the Vulcans keep the momentum, you have great field position. You are starting from your own 36-yard line, 37, correction, and you've ran a few minutes off the clock. You got 7:45 to go here in the third quarter. Can the Vulcans find a way to get another 6 in here? I think they can.
And after this game, obviously both teams are going to go look back at it, and that is definitely a call that I think if you're Edinboro, you might be willing to take, just because you need to get points on the board. You need to have some sort of say in this game, but sometimes just does not go your way. 1st and 10, quick pass to Willis on the near side. Willis spun down immediately, and I could see that play from a mile away. That was the screen pass that set up for the 95-yard touchdown last week, and the Fighting Scots did their homework.
Yeah, they definitely did, and I think Kutztown did theirs as well. 6-3 on that game over at Shepherd.
I know it's cross-conference play, but 2 teams, 2 Goliaths on that side of the conference facing off. Always a good matchup, and one that could potentially dictate a lot of things going on in the PSAC East. Second down and 11. Ball on the 36. 7:05 left to go here in the third quarter. 3 receivers on the far side. Black gets the snap. Looking, stepping up into the pocket, and Black's going to take off with it. Gets a block from McCann, and Black going to fall forward. It's going to be marked just shy of that first down marker. Great block from McCann to give the Vulcans a 3rd and 1 now.
Yeah, that's the third and manageable. And that was close to being a late hit there at the end. And from that defense of Edinboro, I think I saw, it was number 8, Melissa, on that at defense, coming up, trying to get that last second tackle.
6:25 left to go here in the third. 3rd and 1, ball on the 46. Kalechi into the backfield. McCann behind him. McCann going to get the call. McCann going to pick up the first down. McCann going to pick up a few more. McCann going to make his way into Fighting Scott territory, brought down at the 48.
Yeah, Thornton coming up with that one, but we're going to have an injured Scott on the field. Well,
it looks like it's going to be number 2, Ahmad Brown. Slow to get up, just around the 50-yard line of the field. I wouldn't say either team because 50-yard line's the neutral part of the field. 6:02 left to go here in the third. Like we said, we have a few more score updates. 9-0 the score between Mercyhurst and IUP. Crimson Ops with the lead as Brown making his way to his feet and going to make his way off the field on his own power. So hopefully everything's all right with him.
Yeah. One other score at halftime right now. Millersville up over Westchester 16-0. And we're in a deadlock over at Lockhaven, 7-7 all between the Warriors and the Eagles.
Yeah,
Clarion also now extending their lead 20-0 over Gannon. So, not looking like it's going to be an easy week next week when Clarion comes to town.
And not only that, 3 great games going on here in the area today. I mean, you want to talk about the opportunity to see some great football. 1st and 10. Handoff to Boyd. Boyd stumbling as he's trying to make his way forward, but doesn't matter. Runs through 2 players trying to bring him down. Still picks up 4 on the play.
As we talked about earlier, Boyd almost 4.5 yards a carry, and you see why he's getting looked at for that. It's still rumbling forward, gets another 4 yards added onto his total. It's just a matter of time before he breaks one loose and goes scampering off to the end zone.
The way that I think he runs, I definitely can't say the words on the broadcast, but he runs like he does not give a single about anyone on the field. He's out there. He doesn't care what's happening. He's going to make the big plays. 2nd and 6. Boyd gets the call again. Boyd breaks a few tackles. Boyd makes his way deep into Fighting Scott territory, brought down at the 30. 14-yard gain on the play. And another injured Fighting Scott on the ground.
Yep, that one's good. Another one of the secondary members as Klein's going to be helped off the field.
Yeah, it's 2 plays in pretty quick succession where both of your safeties injured on the play. Brown and now Klein, injured on the field. Hopefully everything's okay with him, but this Vulcan offensive attack, I don't know what it is about first half of plays or first half of games where it seems like there's just something, the Vulcans like laid off the bus or something where it just doesn't quite seem to get anything going as Klein is going to make his way off the field. But that second half, I don't know what coach is saying in that halftime pep talk or something, but they're making the adjustments and they're doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, I mean, the Vulcans, this is definitely a different team than what we saw all in the first half. Their assignments on defense have been a lot more crisp. That offense, it seems to be working like a well-oiled machine now. I don't know, like you said, what coach said at halftime, but it's working.
Yeah, I mean, if they played like that the whole game, you're talking about the best team in the country. But nonetheless, 1st and 10 from the Fighting Scott 30-yard line. Black. Handoff again to Boyd. Boyd this time brought down. No gain on the play. Great rip through by the Fighting Scott. That was number 17, Ty Thornton, coming through making the tackle.
Yeah, I honestly thought we were going to see a play fake there because I did believe that Black was just going to pull it back himself and take it and run.
I mean, no, Black is definitely capable of doing that, and it's also nice just to mix one of those in there every once in a while, keep the defense on their toes. 2nd and 10 from the 30. McCann now in the game, and now alongside Black in the backfield. 3 receivers set for the Vulcans, 2 on the near, 1 on the far. Black back to throw. Black has a ton of time. That throw behind his intended receiver, and luckily, I believe that was Devontae Martin who was intended for it. Martin was able to just swat that one to the ground, because if not, that could have ended up into Fighting Scott's hands.
Yeah, we're just happy to see that one actually hit the ground. Oh, and I've never been more happy for an incomplete pass. My heart stopped there for a second. I was like, oh, no, not again.
Yeah, you could hear the collective gasp of all the Vulcans fans in front of us as that ball just seemed to linger in the air for a little bit too long for anyone's liking, but ends up on the ground. 3rd and 10 from the 30. The Vulcans have a chance to tack on some more points to try to take control. Handoff this time. It's going to be brought down just shy of the 25-yard line. That's Cameron on the play. Picks up 3, maybe 4. Now, it'll be interesting to see what the Vulcans decide to do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as well. Oh, because, it's a bit of a long field goal for Beatco. But it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th and about 6.
Hey, both teams, this is what I like to do. This is the football I like. This is how I play Madden. It's just like no field goals, no punts, keeping the offense out there all the time. Trying to tack on as many points. Like I said, roll the dice. 4th and 6, Black under pressure, rolling away. Black throwing it. That pass caught by Hopkins inside the 5 and brought down at the 4. Hopkins pulls it in, and the Vulcans on the doorstep once more.
And we got another timeout as number 8 for the defense. And it's that was Zach Malpasa walking off the field, and that was a little slow to get up.
And that throw from Black did not look the prettiest out of his hands, but was effective. It got to Hopkins, and Hopkins did the rest. Came down with a beautiful catch.
Hey, you know what the old saying is? They don't ask how, they ask how many.
As long as it works, who cares? 1st down and goal from the 4. Kalechi and McCann in the backfield. Kalechi now in motion, forming trips on the far side. Handoff to McCann. McCann going to get brought down as soon as he's handed the ball. 3 Edinboro Fighting Scots were back there immediately to deal with him. Not
what I thought Cal was going to go for there. Or it might be just the play calls that I ran, and have of Kalechi come out of the backfield as a wing back. Can just snap it right there and a quick little screen route.
Vulcans still have a few more cracks at it. 2nd and goal from the 4. The Vulcans have a chance to just shift gears here, just try to put the game out of reach. Not quite out of reach because there's plenty of time, but handoff to McCann again, and McCann untouched into the end zone for the Vulcan touchdown. 2nd of the day for him. Attacking on 6 more for California. Commanding lead now 20-3, awaiting the extra point.
This is where the Vulcans ends. We talked about it. They needed to score again, and they might have just put a big win, taken a lot of wind out of the sails of the Fighting Scots now.
Yeah, the Vulcans have steadied the ship in the second half, have looked night and day better, and have added on 2 more touchdowns to boot. Beatco's kick, awaiting snap, hold, kick is up. Beatco's kick is good. 21-3 their score, 1:43 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on CUTV. CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM.
Suffering from World Cup withdrawal? Well, Vulcan men's and women's soccer has you covered. Come up and watch the region's best soccer teams do battle in a combined 18 home games at the beautiful Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. In addition, 3 men's and 3 women's home games will be featured live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans for up-to-date information on all things Vulcan soccer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans further their lead. I'm trying to find the words for it. 21-3 now after another touchdown run from Eric McCann. Beatco waiting to kick us off and get us underway once again. Ball going to be fielded at the 2-yard line of Edinboro. Ton of room. Man, able to get towards the outside, but great open field tackling. A flag thrown at the end of the play. It was number 19, Brian Trobel, on the return, and I think this one's going to go against the Vulcans, as it looked like Trobel was signaling maybe a face mask call.
I think that's exactly what it was, because it was pretty close there.
And I know Coach is not always going to be happy about all phases of the game in terms of how the team performed. Even if the Vulcans do win today, I think there are definitely some big, I wouldn't say concerns, but question marks going forward. And one of them just being, how well can this team stay disciplined? Because we've seen in games like this, we've seen teams.
Oh, so there was no flag on the play, so they're just going to pick it up.
Well, they're trying to take away my point, but I think my point still stands, though, as we saw in that game last week against Shepherd that the penalties really killed California. We saw it in week 1. And if you're a team that is seriously considering to try to fight for that PSAC title, I feel like the discipline up front has to be one of the top priorities.
Yeah, especially with a decent and Clarion team, it looks like, and on top of that, you got IUP and Slippery Rock coming within the weeks.
Yeah, a ton of very good games coming up. 1st and 10 from the 28. Bernard hands off to Trobel. Trobel trying to find any sort of room. Going to get brought down in the backfield. Excuse me. That was Mike Flowers, number 10, on the run there for the Fighting Scots. Going to pick up 2 on the carry. 2nd down and 8 from the 30. Something that I say every week, but I always want to give a nice shout out to the Vulcan faithful making their way up to Erie today to watch this game. Great sized crowd here for California.
And it was an early start today with a 12 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, that is definitely not the best conditions to drive in. Not what you are ideal. Bernard under pressure gets the pass off, and the catch is going to be made by Armani Bailey just shy of the sticks. Bernard under a ton of pressure, able to get the ball out.
Yeah, I mean, you had number 96. Josh Hugh and number 59 Emilio Arbalio. Oh, if I mispronounced that, I do apologize.
3rd down and 2. Bernard trying to get the Vulcans to jump offside. Not falling for it. 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Trobel in the backfield next to Bernard. Bernard gets the snap. Looking, throws it straight to Toby, who picks it off. Toby can go the other way, going to get flipped overhead out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The Vulcans get a gift.
Man, you couldn't have played that any better. Matt Toby, dropping back in the little man zone coverage, watching the flats, and just pick that one off.
And Toby finally getting the Vulcans an interception in this season. Looks like the ball's going to be, or no, that's going to be the end of the quarter. Oh my God, I didn't even see it. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. 21-3 your score. We'll be right back here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network at 91.9 FM.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have 2 great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans get the ball back after a Matt Tobey interception. And we begin the fourth quarter, jumbled last couple of seconds in that third handoff on the first play to Williams, and Williams looking for any sort of room, going to get brought back to the line of scrimmage. I mean, he didn't really have time to talk about it. Tobey, I think just inside of the blind spot of Isaac Bernard, Tobey was just sitting there, and that ball looked like it was intended for him the way that Bernard threw it.
I know, right? He made the probably the easiest play he'll have all season.
I'm sure Mr. Tobey in the stands and Matt on the field as well. Everyone going to appreciate that, and the Vulcans have a chance to potentially just put the nail in the coffin here against the Fighting Scots. Reverse on the play. Hopkins with the ball. Hopkins with some open space trying to get around a defender. Great tackle made in the open field by number 39 of Edinboro, Tristan Waldier, able to bring down Hopkins.
We got an injured Vulcan. It's going to be Noah Hamlin on the near side.
Waldier able to just wrap up on the leg of Hopkins as Hamlin still stumbling around. And there's going to be a face mask called on the play.
I thought it was for an injured Vulcan. The way Hamlin was favoring that knee, but he 15 yard, or a little bit more than 15 yards because it's half the distance of the goal. Also, we're going to be down around on the 15-yard line, and 14 maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it was on the initial tackle. Must have been in and amongst the play elsewhere, and that'll move the ball down to the 19-yard line, or the 14, excuse me. I cannot see lines on the field. It has been one heck of a day so far. 13:55.
Almost through it.
Hey, we're almost there. We're approaching the finish line.
Let's say we're a little over 3/4 of the game.
2 hours of sleep does not help. Handoff this time to Williams, and Williams can't find any sort of room. Great breakthrough from that Fighting Scots front, able to bring Williams down just past the line of scrimmage. And for California, this is exactly what you want to start off your in-conference play. Obviously, wanted to get two wins back to back, but starting off the conference play with a win against an opponent in Edinboro, who've been putting up one heck of a fight in all of their games. Not writing them off quite yet as Black back to throw. Has a man in Willis on the far side. Willis able to break one tackle, trying to split through two, and Willis pile drivered back into the turf after picking up 5.
I was going to say, hey, that was a body slant. I know what that is from practice and stuff. Believe me, that doesn't feel good. I mean, he had a little bit of cushion with the pads, but still.
That makes it a third and manageable. 3rd and 4 from the 9. 12:35 left to go here in regulation time. 3 receivers on the near side for Black. Willis one-on-one on the far side. Maybe something the Vulcans look to exploit. Cameron in the backfield with Black. Cameron now on Black's left. Black gets the snap, looking for that one-on-one. Trying to find Willis, pass incomplete, 2 flags thrown in the end zone, and I think the Vulcans going to get the benefit of the doubt on this one. Ball going to be on the 1.
A DPI on the play.
And if it's the way that the Vulcans think it's going to be, the ball going to be
on the either
1,
the 2
maybe
or the
2-yard line. It's going to be placed on the 2-yard line. So Vulcans now 1st and goal from the 2.
And that's on Edinboro's defense. You had them dead to rights, but like we talked about, penalties can make or break a drive for a team. And right now, it's looking like it's going to make the drive for the Vulcans.
And that could have been the theoretical straw that broke the back of the Fighting Scots if the Vulcans are able to punch this one in. 1st and goal from the 2. Black under center. McCann in the backfield. Black handoff to McCann. McCann trying to get forward. McCann going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't pick up any on the play. 2nd and goal now from the 2. 11:48 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Vulcans up 21-3 over the Edinboro Fighting Scots. A couple of substitutions made from this Vulcan offense. Williams is going to go into the game. McCann off the field. Second and goal. Black moving back into the gun. Kalechi on his right. Williams on his left. Three receivers. Fighting Scots sending someone. Play action pass. Throw towards the back of the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. Amari Hopkins pulls in the score, and the Vulcans able to push this lead even further. 20-7-3, awaiting the extra point.
And that was a great play fake there by the Vulcan. And did they ever get that defense to bite? Everyone looked over at Martin and McCann for the ball, and leaving the wide receivers all wide open, and just an easy ball to drop in there. It's 27-3.
The Vulcan offense flawless in the second half. Beatco's kick is up, and the kick is good. Flags thrown on the play. It looks like there was some movement, an offside call. Potentially the Vulcans going to decline it, I believe, or maybe tack it on.
On the
neutral zone infraction. Penalty declined. 28-3 the score. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on CUTV. CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM WCAL.
Join us for the 6th Annual Vulcans Athletics Day of Giving, kicking off at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, September 26th, to support Vulcan Athletics. For 36 hours, alumni, family, and friends will have the opportunity to make a gift in support of their favorite Vulcan sports teams. All gifts support student-athlete scholarships. This year, the goal is to raise $40,000. Make a gift and invite others to join you. You make a difference. Go to www.tinyurl.com/Vulcans Make a Difference to make your gift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans tack on 7 more, 28-3 the score after a 1-yard touchdown throw from Black to Hopkins. And so far in this second half, the Vulcan offense, 21 straight points. Biko going to get us underway. Stanfield going to take the touchback. Like we talked about, this offense, night and day compared to that first half. It's like two sides of the theoretical coin, but California flipping it all on the right side as they've been nothing but perfect in the second half against Edinboro.
Yeah, it's definitely been all Vulcans here in the second half. I don't know what, like we said earlier, I don't know what was said at halftime that got the Vulcans all fired up, but they are out here dominating in the second half.
Whatever it is, they'll take it. First and 10 from the 25. Bernard back to throw. Bernard stepping up, and Bernard throwing. Pass caught. And a big hit over the middle. Good job by the receiver, Hopkins, to hold on to that one as
we got a flag on the play.
It was Dominic Solomon Jr. laying the boom, and a flag thrown after the fact.
So let's see what
after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against Hopkins.
Wow.
And that's going to move the Fighting Scots back. I was just taking a look at the D2 football messenger boards talking about the PSAC games today. And I saw one of the Edinboro fans saying that there's going to be, it's a chippy one to start the game. This was right at the beginning. And he said, I wouldn't be surprised if a player got ejected in this game. And
that's fitting.
I think, after that, definitely under play, a screen pass caught and immediately brought down. It was Trobel pulling it in, but Trobel just swarmed by California Vulcans. That's going to lose 5, 6, 7 yards on the game. Second down and 17 now from the 22.
After that completed pass, it's been after the unsportsmanlike penalty, now it's just been backwards for Edinboro. Oh, and that's not what they're wanting to do here.
Second and 17 from the 15. I mean, they got a first down, and they find themselves back 10 yards further than when they started. Second and 17 from the 15. 10-20 left to go. Bernard in the gun. Bernard under pressure. His throw caught over the field. And the still going is the receiver in Armani Bailey before finally being brought down at around the 21-yard line.
And John Hutchison was going for that football again as he tried to punch it out.
Third and long now for the Fighting Scots. And if you're Edinboro, you need something out of this drive, anything. Show some life to the home fans. 3rd and 12. Bernard in the gun. Bernard stepping up, and Bernard getting hit as he's thrown, able to find Troble, and Troble brought down again. Toby, Hutchinson, Xavier, all in the mix. Going to pick up 4 on the play. 4th down and 9.
That was an old school football play right there. I tell you what, if I heard that hit through my headset, wow.
Yeah, that was a big hit. 4th and 7. After that gain, Fighting Scots going to send on the punting unit.
Checking in on one of the games real quick. Kutztown about to make it a 20-3 game in the fourth quarter in Shepherdstown right now.
Barry's punt, high, deep punt. Willis signals for the fair catch. Not going to get quite the roll that he got in that first half, but the ball going to be fielded at the 35-yard line. A decent punt once again from Barry.
And a great.
I don't know why I said Barry. It's Reed Martin. That's the punter.
Good field position, though, for the Vulcans. And it's down around, I believe it's going to be marked at their 35. So, good field position to start this drive here with 8:41 to go in the fourth quarter.
I don't know why I got Martin and Jordan Barry, former Steelers punter, somehow mixed up in my mind.
I mean, same number, so.
Yeah, similar numbers, similar kicks. 1st and 10 for the Vulcans at the 35. The Vulcan offense steps back onto the field once more, like they've done for the entirety of the second half. I want to see the time of possession numbers, how much they've swung in the favor of the Vulcans in this second half. Black back to throw. Black stepping up and going deep down the field. Has a man. And Willis comes down with the catch inside the 30 to the 25. Willis brought down inside the 10, rolling down into the 5, and finally being brought down at around the 4-yard line. Huge play for the Vulcan offense.
And Willis is one of those guys that can change the play just like that.
You want to talk about taking the top off a defense. I mean, you got to put 3 players back there just to make sure he doesn't get by you, and sometimes he still does.
You want to talk about time of possession? In 31 minutes for the Vulcans.
Compared to that first, I think it's 17, 18 minutes in this second half alone. The Vulcans going to continue to eat up the clock. Under 8 minutes, 7:53 left to go. 3 receivers on the near, 1 on the far. Kalechi now in motion. Boyd in the backfield. Handoff to Boyd now. Boyd trying to find a lane. Boyd getting brought down inside the 5. Spun down in and around the 4 to 3 yard line.
Yeah, you were correct on that. That's 11 minutes in the third quarter, or in about 4 minutes here in the fourth.
Yeah, this offense, when this offense gets going, it's a sight to see.
Definitely hard to keep that offense contained.
And after losing a receiver like Jaquay Jackson, one of the best receivers in the entire country last year, after he transferred to Rutgers, I know Coach talking about how this receiving room got a lot deeper, and you're just seeing it on full display. Black, quick throw. Willis makes the catch, and Willis going to get brought down after a gain of 1, maybe 2. 3rd and goal now from the 3. The Vulcan offense is looking for the signals, and another great performance here today. Like he talked about, facing off against Clarion next week, who are looking now like they're going to be no, I guess, rollover. Well, maybe not be the best way to put it, but Black gets the snap looking. Black going to get sacked in the backfield. The pressure finally got to him. And that was number 17, Ty Thornton, bringing down Davis Black. And the Vulcans finally break that touchdown streak in the second half, going to send out the field goal unit for Beatco.
Yeah, and that's the first time, and Black's going to be sacked today. But you can't really say a whole lot. You got to admit that has been probably one of the greatest that we've seen in that offensive line protecting their quarterback.
Yeah, this offensive line who's had a couple of shake-ups in and around this season. Like you said, putting on a great display for Beatco, allowing him to just go to work. Snap, kick, Beatco's up. Beatco's kick is good. That extends the score to 31-3. 5:22 left to go. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on CTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM.
Vulcan Volleyball is back, and you can have the best seat in the house. The Convocation Center will be rocking with 11 home games featuring some of the best teams in the region and the PSAC. All home games will be streamed live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network. Follow Cal Vulcans on all social media platforms for up-to-date schedules and information. Vulcan Volleyball and you, a winning combination.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sox Harrison Stadium as the Vulcans take a 31-3 lead after the field goal from Anthony Beatco, who continues to be perfect outside of any game that involves the Shepherd Golden Rams. Not the Golden Rams, just the Rams. Beatco's kick going to be out of the end zone for a touchback. Speaking of the Shepherd Rams,
they're currently in an uphill battle as Kutztown looking like they might go to 500, or it is they're under 5 minutes left to go. The Golden Bears lead the Rams 20-3 right now in the fourth quarter. Who'd have thunk that one?
Yeah, then one of the nationally ranked teams in the country in Shepherd just not been able to get any. That offense has been lights out so far this year and just have not been able to get anything going against the Golden Bears.
And a couple other scores coming out of halftime right now. Shippensburg's up 7-0 over Bloomsburg.
Bernard handoff, Trobel on the carry. Trobel able to get some room, pick up quite a few more. Flowers on the carry that time for the Fighting Scots. Going to be brought down at the 42-yard line, 17 on the play.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing some of the secondary and string guys coming into the game. As we're under 5 minutes now. Oh, and this one's looks like the Vulcans are going to have this one pretty much on lockdown for the rest of the way.
I think barring some sort of freak miracle.
Yeah.
28 points in 4 minutes would be.
That's a Madden thing, I think.
I mean, that'd be a Goliath of a task to take down. Man in motion. A couple players in motion, I think.
I think this one's going to go against Edinboro.
I think you're absolutely right. It looks like Flowers was dancing around in the backfield, just got a little bit too antsy. And speaking ahead a little bit, looking on to next week, and maybe kind of reflecting on this game today, if you're California, what does a win like this do in terms of just like repairing the mental after a tough loss last week?
I mean, coming from experience, and this is kind of you're trying to figure out what went wrong and still work a couple things out. But for the Vulcans, it's not all just get back to your assignments.
Flowers trying to make his way to the outside, and in fact he does. Breaks off 2 or 3 tackles before Solomon Jr. finally brings him down almost got back to the original line of scrimmage, so pick up 4, maybe 5 on the carry. And I have to agree with you. I think after a game like last week, heartbreaking loss, such a close game all the way through. And if you're California, that's a game that you look back on maybe a few weeks from now, maybe at the end of the season if things don't work your way and you think, man, if we'd have just been able to close out that game, things would have been different. And I think kind of just resetting the mind here today could do wonders for this team moving forward as Bernard gets the snap, play action pass, stepping up into the pocket, floating this one deep down the sideline. That pass is going to be caught on the far side. Great toe tap by Aaron Hopkins. Never mind. I'm not known to be wrong. I say that as I am wrong quite often. I thought it looked like as the referee signaled that maybe he was able to get some feet in.
The way he was pointing, I agree with you, Sabe. I honestly thought he pulled it in too. But lo and behold, somehow he didn't.
I mean, if that would have been gone down as a catch, you could maybe have submitted that one.
Catch of the year?
Not catch of the year, but maybe just a great play. Put that on the highlight reel.
Top 10 end for the week.
3rd and 11. Bernard back to throw that pass. Well out of bounds, incomplete. The Vulcan pressure got there again. It's going to bring up another 4th down. Looks like the Fighting Scots are going to submit and send out the punting unit once again. There's no point in going for it on 4th down as this game is well out of reach. Willis and Hopkins now back deep to receive for California. Martin back to punt. Martin keeping it and kind of rugby-style punting it, getting a few extra yards on that punt. And great bounce again. If you want to talk about a bright spot, that one's going to be downed on the half-yard line. Reed Martin, submit that guy for Special Teams Player of the Week. Another punt.
That'll be the 3rd week in a row if he gets it. I tell you what, great punt right there, but I guarantee it's going to be run plays for the Vulcans here on out. So
coming into today's game, Martin had 16 punts in the opening 3 games, averaged 44.1 yards per punt. Obviously had that 73-yard punt and had 8 of his 16 punts down inside the 20. This one down inside of the Vulcan half-yard line. And like I said, that man does it all. He's playing cornerback. He's doing all the kicks. He's punting the ball. He's a Swiss Army knife in any way, shape, or form that the Fighting Scots can use him. But the Vulcans take over 1st and 10 from their own half-yard line.
Edinboro's going to call a timeout.
And that'll be the first one of the half for the Fighting Scots. 3:17 left to go here in the 4th quarter. And I think if you're California as well, this one seems a little extra sweet in a way, getting the one up on a fellow Penn West school. And like I said, the Vulcans have not lost a game against Edinboro since 2004. So continuing to push that streak on.
Well, we got a moment here with the timeout. We'll take a look around the PSAC with some of the other scores at halftime. Right now, Clarion still up 20-7 over Annan. Over Mercyhurst, they're still trailing 16-7 into IUP. Lockhaven get ready to start here in the 3rd quarter, up 14-7 over East Stroudsburg. Westchester finally getting on the borders there in about the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Up Millersville up 16-7 in their game. Still 7-0 against Bloomsburg over against Shippensburg. And right now, it is still 20-3 in Shepherdstown, and they're trying to come back with about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it's going to be a task for them as well. Handoff this time to Williams. Williams just trying to get some breathing room for the Vulcans. Going to pick up 5 yards on the carry. Great run on 1st down, and we've seen a carousel backs here in this game so far. I think one offensive player I really want to highlight in this game is Amari Hopkins. 6 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown to boot in this game. He had that play earlier on where he was wide open, dropped the ball on what probably could have been a touchdown going the way of California, but didn't let that waver his confidence at all, has continued to persevere through this game, and has put on one heck of a performance here for Cal. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Ball on the 5-yard line. Handoff again to Williams. Williams keeping the legs turning, trying to push the pile forward. Picks up 1, maybe 2 on the carry, brings up a 3rd down and manageable.
Say it's going to be about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, somewhere there in that area.
And the Vulcans, we didn't even really mention that we talked about a lot of football games going on here in Erie today. The Vulcan athletic department and our SID, Matt Kiefer, he's going to have one heck of a day today. I believe 5 or 6 different sporting events going on between football, volleyball, tennis, soccer, like the works.
And I think
today.
cross country has a
cross country, maybe swimming. I'm not sure, but
no swimming yet. But we're getting to that point.
Handoff to Williams again, and Williams going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more. 4th down for the Vulcans. Rosensteel in the punting unit coming back out. But I do not envy that man at all in his position, having to jumble everything going on with the athletic department with all of those games going on in the same day. And a lot of them going on around here. I know volleyball playing a game later here today up in the air, I believe, against Mercyhurst.
Yeah, they're at Mercyhurst. Soccer, I think has UPJ. Trying to remember all, but it's definitely a busy schedule. Oh, this is that busy time of the year.
Yeah, just after the beginning of the month, beginning of the school year, just getting everything as we are about to cross under a minute left to go in this game. And it looks like the Vulcans are going to take a bunch of time off the clock, take a timeout. 58 seconds left here in the game. And for the Vulcans, you did exactly what you came here to do today. You drove on up I-79 to Sox Harrison Stadium. You got a big win against a rival. I mean, this game has been going on for, not this game, but this matchup between these two teams has been going on for decades now, and you get a big win.
Yeah, definitely a good win here today for the Vulcans. Excited to see how they get ready for Clarion next week. Definitely it feels good getting another W here on the road. Your first one of the season, and this should be your second road game, but as we know, Alderson Broadus had to cancel their schedule. And it was a little too late to find someone else to play this year. But
yeah, and you talked about Clarion next week, and then the following week IUP, and then a stretch of games, Seton Hill, Slippery Rock, Mercyhurst, Gannon, East Stroudsburg, all at the end of the season. So the Vulcans need to get the wins where they can get them. And get a big one here today. Rosensteel punting from his own end zone. That one high, not very far, but had to get it out of the way because it was going to get blocked and caught.
Uh-oh.
And there's going to be a flag thrown, and I think this one a little bit unnecessary. It was a Micah Tillman making a fair catch inside of his own sideline, but maybe stepped onto the field is not something.
I think he did.
And even though it may be unconsequential to the result of the game, I know that is something that Coach definitely does not like.
A penalty you don't want to take here.
And I just wanted to mention as well that the Fighting Scots had a ton of that momentum in that first half. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty placed on the spot. Automatic first down, obviously. But this Vulcan defense really has stepped up in the second half. I mean, they've caused a ton of problems. They've caused Bernard to be scared in the pocket, and they've held off the Fighting Scots. It seemed like it was going to be maybe a back-and-forth affair, but it ended up being a rout for the Vulcans here today. And into the game now for Edinboro will be number 5, Bo Swartz, who going to hand this one off to Flowers. Flowers trying to find some room, being brought down at the 17-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play.
As the clock continues to wind here, it was definitely a day for the Vulcans on both sides of the ball. You were a little bit asleep, I think, and coming off the bus here to start the game, but they've stepped it up here in the second half, and they have definitely made things a lot more tight.
Throw back in the end zone, incomplete. Swartz trying to find Tegan Brown. 14 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Like I talked about, the Vulcan offense, or the Vulcan defense, excuse me, had some troubles in that first half, but seemed to just close the door and lock it shut. And the Fighting Scots didn't really seem to have any sort of locksmith on their side to try to get a result here today.
And all the Scots trying to come in, and they just kicked them right out the door or and slammed it in their face.
Pass complete to Hopkins on the far side. Hopkins trying to extend, and they get brought down inside of the 5. Looks like going to be brought down at the 4-yard line. 8 seconds left. And the Fighting Scots continuing to play to the final whistle. Going to try to tack on some points here at the end of this game.
And we got a final score. Shepherd falls to Kutztown. Now 20-3. He at home. What a big upset there.
The Rams knocked off of the high hill from the Golden Bears. Handoff this time to keeper as Swartz makes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Maybe some excitement for the Fighting Scots fans. Something to cheer about at the end of this game. 31-9 now. 2 seconds left here at the end of the game.
And that one's going to be just playing for respect at this point. Ain't so.
Reed and Martin out here to attempt the extra point. Snap, kick, up. Martin's kick is good. That'll bring the score 31-10. I don't even really think it'd be necessary to take a break. Just roll right through it right here at the end of the game.
So, while we got a moment here, folks, let's take a look at the rest of the scores around the conference. Millersville extending their lead now, 23-7 over Westchester. 14 all in the third quarter right now at Lock Haven, and as East Stroudsburg ties that one up.
And that's a big game right there. Like you said, East Stroudsburg having a great start to the season, and Lock Haven giving them a run for their money.
And here's the thing, whoever wins this one, and it's going to be a three-way tie between Lock Haven, East Stroudsburg, and Shepherd for that top spot in the conference on the east side of things. Gannon now making this a contest up over at home, 20-14 in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Golden Knights not stepping away, trying to take off of Clarion off of their perch.
And then looking to check in on the IUP game here up at Mercyhurst. There's 23-7, and IUP running away with that one in the third quarter with 5.5 left to play.
I wanted to pose you one question before we get out of this game. If you had to select a player of the game here today for your California Vulcans, who would you give the award to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. And honestly, you know what? I'm probably going to say I'm going to give you two, one on offense and one on defense. And I'll say offense, you got to give it to David Black on that one. And one heck of a game for him. And then on the other side of things, I feel like you have to say Ace Ananga. Oh, he was all over the place on that. Had forced a fumble for the Vulcans. So I'd say he's our player of the game.
Yeah, they've both been great. And the Vulcans pick up a big win against the Fighting Scots. Your final score, California 31, Edinboro 10. From everyone here at CUTV, from our director, Gary Smith, from my broadcast partner, Jonathan Sakaguchi. My name is Jonathan Sape. Thank you all very much for watching. And I'll be here from the Sox Harrison Stadium. Thank you for watching here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC Network, and 91.9 FM. And good night, California.